Talk of ships always show up in connection with our people, whether it's spaceships, slave ships, right? Craft, some kind of whatever, ships moving across the sea, the water. Ships always show up in reference to our people, right? Even worship, the word worship. People mistook worship for worship, right? Now people say that's an English word. Where do you get that from, Menkares? Where do you get that from? The worship and the worship. Well, the answer is right in how you pray, how they tell you to pray in religion. The answer is in how they tell you to relate to the supreme being, or the omnipresent or the omnipotent being, or who they refer to as God, the supreme being. They tell you to have a fear of God, right? God-fearing man, right? God-fearing woman. Fear. Our people pray, or have been taught to pray in religion, looking up in the air. Why is that? Why are we taught to look up in the air and pray and be in fear of this God being, this supreme being? God-fearing people. God in the clouds, in the sky, moving through the clouds, right? And when people in the ancient days, they saw the ships going through the skies. They saw ships, same way the white man, everybody said they see UFOs today. And UFOs have been spotted on this planet ever since the beginning of this planet. UFOs have been spotted here, coming back and forth in the air. And you imagine the ancient people, when they saw these UFOs or these ships, spaceships, whatever, they were afraid, right? They were afraid because they've never seen anything like that. Lights in the sky. Talk about that all in the Bible. The lights in the sky, the ships and whatnot moving, zooming through the sky and whatnot, right? And they were afraid, right? So much so that they fell on their face and prayed not to be destroyed by these ships. They were in fear, right? This was the people who were ignorant of these ships, right? And they were also privy to see these ships come and destroy things, right? Destroy people. If you look all throughout the Bible, destruction. You can go in even back to the Enumerition, the Gilgamesh epic, and all these stories about the accounts of early Earth in reference to our people and this God and this God race of beings who created everything in existence. They always talk about the destruction. These supreme beings causing destruction on the earth. And they caused destruction on the earth because they were scientists. They were experimenting. When things didn't go how they wanted it to go, when it wasn't in line of the evolution they were trying to lay down, they would destroy it. They would destroy everything in their path and start again. It's a constant regeneration of life, destruction and reconstruction, degeneration and regeneration, constantly. From these people who move in ships, right? They tell you in religion, oh, God is in the heavens, moving through the heavens. How is God moving through the heavens, or the supreme being, or the creator? Like I said, for you people like that are going to listen tonight, this is not a religious show. I don't do religion. I do reality. Reality obviously says that a supreme race of people, beings, created everything in existence, right? They created everything in existence that we see was created by thinking people, engineering things, putting things together, causing explosions, blowing up things, destroying things, recreating things, right? And our ancestors were privy to a lot of these things. They saw these lights in the sky, these wheels, as they talked about Ezekiel in the Bible, the wheel in the sky, right? These were accounts. Some of the names may have been changed, but these were true accounts of people who saw ships moving through the sky, just like they see today. They always been going on here. And the people fell on their face and prayed to these ships not to be destroyed. This is where your whole thing of prayer comes from. They got on their knees and worshiped these people out of fear, these supreme beings, which is where your whole worship comes from. Warship, worship. right? Now people will say again, oh, that's English. You know what? They wasn't speaking English back then. It's the same idea. Same idea, different words, different pronunciations, same idea. I said English is an evolving language of all of those ancient languages. I said that's why English is the premier language on the planet today. It's an amalgamation of every language on the planet. You can find words from every language on the planet in the English language. Certain variations and things from Latin to Hebrew to Arabic, you'll see words in all of these languages, from all these languages encompassed in the English language for a reason. It was meant to be that one final tongue that everyone in the world would speak. The majority of the world would speak. It was that one tongue where confusion, where all these different tongues, meaning languages, would no longer be confused, right? They would be fused into one tongue, which is why if you hear, the beasts in society talking about one new order, one world order, where English is the premier language, and the worship of one God, right? To get the confusion or to cut the confusion out totally, right? It is the worship, or should I say the worship, that we have a connection to, that we know is coming. A lot of our people sit up here and say, oh, that's spooky, brother. That's crazy. That's spooky. It's not spooky and it's not crazy because our people talked about it. What reason would they have had to lie about these ships that they saw? Even the Honorable Elijah Muhammad talked about the mother plane. Dr. York talked about Nibiru. It's very real. It's very real, very realistic. It's reality. Don't believe that nonsense the 5% is talking about we was always here and we had knowledge and we still got knowledge within us. And when y'all don't know nothing. Somebody brought y'all here. And y'all haven't evolved to that level to understand that you don't know anything. When you admit that, because if you're still stuck in a religion, you're still stuck and linked to man-made philosophies and concepts that are based in confusion, then you don't know anything. You can't understand things like this, things that are above this earth, things that are beyond this earth, things that start before there was a time, before there was a time period, before the planet, before a solar system, before mathematics, right? Before the rotation of the planet around the sun and the solar system and all that. You wouldn't understand a time before that where there was no time, where there was constant motion with no turns, with no stop points, with continuous movement. Continuous movement denotes that there is no time frames. Time frames mean to stop, right? That's based in mathematics. Mathematics, as we introduced in the State of Mental, means a continuous move forward. And those people that brought these ships in, transporting people here, transporting things here, people, things, seeding the planet with life, they moved on a mathematical field of straight movement with no time gaps. And the people that came, and they came in different time frames, and the people that saw them, they feared them just like they fear them today when they see these ships, because they're so more advanced. They don't know what they're looking at. So you got people today, they get on their knees and worship. The church does the same thing. They do the same thing because they don't want to be made to be prey, hunted, right? As these supreme beings will do in time. There's a warship coming, right? There's a warship. Though it's not meant to really cause war with mankind. It's just meant merely to destroy mankind and start again. Mankind has reached its peak, or his peak and her peak of evolution. So a new generation has to be restarted. A new race of people have to be jump-started on Earth. These people are already limited in their way of thinking, from racism to sexism to, all of these things on Earth, to classism, right? And what you don't understand is that these people who are locked in these frames of race and classification and whatever, sexism and all this, where they tend to cut people out of certain areas or sectors in the world, keep people without. What you're doing when you do that is that you're cutting off key people that could be a factor in the evolution of the planet. What do I mean by that? I mean that, let's say you got people who are racist against blacks or whatever, right? Now, the ignorant-minded person, I don't care if it's black, white, whatever, they're not going to listen to a person who could come with a message that, or who would be receiving higher intelligence that would come through and aid in being a part of the evolution of the world, because they're caught on race and color. They're caught in that circular mindset. First, there's judgment, then there's destruction, right? There has to be a judgmental, meaning to judge the minds of the people to see if they're worthy to go on into the future. Those people who can advance, who can receive more intelligence, more light, and those people who can't, they will be destroyed by the warships. And the ones, like I said, the armies of the earth, the governments of the earth, they preparing already. They already know destruction is coming from those advanced beings, those almond beings, what they referred to in ancient Egypt as Neteru, Anunnaki, and Sumer, all that. The Dogons were talking about, the Amma. They already know these advanced people are coming. They're out there, and they're watching everything. They're watching everything, and they've already made a judgment on the planet. They've already made a judgment on the people. So they're only going to take the people, and they're going to advance the people and continue their life, those who they can expand, those people who are not closed-minded and caught up into circular things, right? They're not going to take the religious people. They're not going to extend the religious people. They're not going to extend the racist people. They're going to get rid of those people, right? They're giving orders to mankind, the powers that be, the elect, to get rid of thousands and thousands of people. They're generating images in their head right now to cause explosions and to blow up things, and all is spoken of in your book of Revelation, and it's happening right now. The book of Revelation is happening. These almond beings, these omni beings who are outside this solar system, who are moving into the universe, these beings who are the real light that's expanding the universe. Their world is expanding the universe. They're sending messages into this atmosphere to the powers that be in all solar systems to get ready for their warships, to get ready for the destruction and the regeneration. They're going to shut everything down. They're going to utilize these people to destroy, and they're going to rebuild from the ones who are intelligent enough to receive. This is a reality. This has always been done. This is not, this is not something that I'm coming with or I'm making up. It's a reality. When there's always time where you're at the end of something, like I said, we at the end of religion. That's why if you notice, when 2000 came and everybody was all upset and talking about, the end of the world, they was expecting those warships to come. That's why if you look in the movies, you always see, the white man making these movies about ships coming and destroying everything. And then you see this new Will Smith movie that's out coming, After Earth. After Earth. And who comes on the planet? A black man and his son. And they flying through the earth. Dinosaurs done took back over the planet. Reptilian life took over the planet. Where's all these ideas coming from? Who's generating these images into their head to put these messages out? Who's generating the destruction of these governments on Earth? Blowing up the White House and all this other stuff there. White House Down, all these movies coming out. Who's putting these ideas in these people's head to write these such things? Obviously, it's being generated because it's preparing the minds of the people for that which is soon to come. The destruction of all these societies, these current societies that can no longer move forward. A warship that will take out all of the armies on the earth and reconstruct a new government by way of their power, by way of their name. This is real. You people that are caught up in religion, who are sharing religions with these other races of people, you better get out of them right now. That's not supposed to be for the evolution of our people. We are totally different people. And we're supposed to be vibrating on a totally different frequency. We're not supposed to be God-fearing people. Mankind, now he has a lot to fear. He knows about those warships. He knows that they're under judgment. The judgment is basically already went down. That's why I said they were preparing. And you always hear these guys coming to my, the Lord's going to destroy the earth in 2000. Why 2000? Because they understood that 2000 represented a new millennium, the 21st century. 2 and 1 is 3. 3 is a three-dimensional picture that will draw in a fourth world, right? A new world coming in. They letting you know. All things come to an end and new things have to begin. Can we move forward with these simple-minded people? No, we cannot. That's been the judgment on the planet. There's so many things that these God beings, these almond beings, these advanced beings want to bring through. There's so much they want to do in the evolution of the planet. But they cannot, because you have people who are stuck in stupid things like religion, like racism, like sexism. All of these things they stuck in. People who can't think logically. People who can't think logically. People who are caught up in emotion, over emotional mindset. These are the people who will never receive advanced intelligence. These are the people who will never move forward in the evolution of this almond race, or this omni race of beings. When I call them omni, that means continuous or eternal, meaning there is no time for these beings. There is no time frame. Those of you who can't move past your Islam and thinking about a sun, a moon, and a star, and a sun moving up and a planet, a sun rising and setting, you people who can't think past that, there's no future for you. There's no future for you. You people will never see the light. You will never see the light of the new day. There's no forward motion for you. The judgment has already been made. The warships are coming. They represent a construction crew or a deconstruction crew. Same way when you see a building set up and you send in a demolition crew, that's how the almond beings are going to work. They're utilizing all of the powers of the world as a demolition crew right now to destroy certain things on the planet at the behest of these omni beings. We're sending them messages right now in real time, in high speed frequency, and they're catching all of the messages and reading them. That's how they're able to get their ideas. That's how they're able to get their ideas to destroy. They're not just doing that on their own just because they want to do that on their own. They're not doing that. They're being told to do that. They're receiving orders. The white man, the ones who empower, they answer to a higher principality. It's not just them doing that. They answer to a higher principality. They always did. Even down to enslaving our people, bringing our people here and cutting them loose at the time they did. That was all at the behest of their superiors, who are our ascendants, to show us something, rather than to take us out through the warships. A lot of our people will be taken out through the warships. A lot of our people, like I said, they don't understand worshiping something. Like I said, worship comes out of fear. Worship comes out of fear. We inherited the spiritual fear of mankind, of the humans, of the white race, the East Indian, the Asians. We inherited their fear. Hell, they fear you. That's why they hate you as an outcast, because they know you're closer to those omni beings and bloodline and ascension and link than anybody else on the planet. They know that. They know that. They're aware of it. So it serves them well to tell you that you African, and y'all buy into that nonsense, because they would rather tell you African than telling you that you are those omni beings, or you are the descendants of those omni beings that came from beyond the sun into this planet, who created the solar system. They don't want you to know that. They'll fight like hell to keep you from knowing that. They'll rather tell you are African, because they've already defined what an African is. They named the continent Africa, right? And they already told you what an African is. An African is a savage. According to them, an African is a savage that run around naked. And they would rather tell you come from that. And y'all stand up for that, rather than and stand up for being so-called original men. when you have no origin here on earth, where you are supposed to be part of that army of beings that were transported here. A God race of Amen beings or Omni beings, a descendant of gods. And they know that. That's why they hate you. You're the outcast. And it was meant to be that way, to show you that you're different from them. Racism was meant to show that you were different from everybody else. When you were not accepted, it was a sign that you were not supposed to be accepted. It was a sign that you were not supposed to share religions with these people, that you were supposed to be governed on a whole different frequency, a whole different identity. But you still run back up under that because it's safe. But then you become God-fearing people. You go under the worship. And those who worship, those who fear will be destroyed. That's real. Because they're guilty. They're guilty. They're guilty in one way, shape, or form. Because if you're not guilty of anything, then you have no fear. The people that worship, right, they fear, like I said, the warship. They know it's coming. Like I said, our people sit up here all day and say, oh, that's crazy, brother, ships and stuff like that, But you believe in a God that sits in the cloud, don't even understand the origin of these things. You believe in a bunch of people telling you that God just appeared out of nowhere. Yeah. Before time, which is real. These advanced beings appeared before time, came into time, and can manipulate and move out of time. So can their warships. Right? Their warships serve as construction crews or teams, where they demo or do demolition on the planet and reconstruct it, blow up things. They showed you that in the movie. What was it? The one with Nicolas Cage. I forget what the name of it is. The Knowing. No, it's that The Knowing. Because they know. Why they call it The Knowing? Because these people knew that their time was coming. He was one of the key people that knew that their time was coming. And these beings, I know they painted them as white men. They came and they destroyed everything on the planet and restarted life again with a little white boy and a little white girl. So that's not how it would go. But they understand that things have to be regenerated. They understand that in their idea and their picture. So they're trying to, in an artificial way, mankind is trying to restart and regenerate life themselves, or regenerate a whole new idea in the heads of the people, creating a one race or one world, one movement of people who vibrate on the same frequency, though it is a submental one. That's why if you notice, you see a lot of your black Caucasians today. When I refer to them as your black Caucasians, they got the mentality of white people. They talk like white people. They eat like white people. They act like white people. They are the ones who bought into this whole new artificial mindset, this submental mindset that is progressive. So they're tuning out or tuning down into this submental influence instead of tuning outward to the omni-mental connection, the Amen beings. Right? They're tuning downward because they're trying to be accepted. They're accepting and they're quoting philosophers. Right? They're quoting white and Asian philosophers, and they are connecting with these people's theories and ideologies on life and existence and things of that nature, and they're not connecting to their own omni-intelligence. They're not connecting to it. So you're creating a human black race, an artificial think tank of black people here on earth who are disconnected from their omni-intelligence or that continuous thought that is going into expanding the universe. These are the people who will fall prey to that God race, who will be in judgment of the warship. Like I said, they refer to it as Nibiru. The only way Elijah Muhammad talked about it is the mother plane. Right? So this has been something that's constantly in rotation in the minds of our people. We knew about the ship. We knew about it. We knew that we were shipped here. We knew that we came from elsewhere at one time. Now we sit up here and we allow these Negroes to tell us from the 60s and the 50s that we were African. That we were, and Garvey told us we were supposed to go back to Africa, and we come from Africa, this, and we bought into the lie. We bought into it when we were supposed to be people who came from God, from those God beings, those supreme beings, whatever name you want to use, those omni beings who created all this. We are bloodline descendants. We bought into the God-fearing spirituality and the existence of this worship. We're not supposed to worship anything. The almond beings, the so-called black race, we're not supposed to worship anything. Right? Because you only worship things that you are foreign to or disconnected from, things that you don't understand. But you, so-called black man and so-called black women, are supposed to have a deep connection with those almond beings. You know them. You're related to them. They're your children. That's why you people tend to be the most God-connected people. I don't even say fear, and I say connected people. You try, you stay in a religion because you're trying to find your connection or your way to those God beings or those beings that created everything, who you refer to as God. But the problem is you seeing it through spiritual eyes instead of soul thought or selectual eyes, as we refer to it in the state of mentality, as soul beings, as people who feel a power and the energy of and the life force of those omni beings, those almond beings. You're not people who feel that. So if you're not people who feel that, if you're looking through the eyes of these people who forced Christianity on you, who forced Islam on you, who locked you into that whole Judaic custom, then you become God-fearing people. People who are worshiping, people who are praying, people who are ignorant to the intelligence of the omni force, of these omni-intelligent beings, who they were ignorantly referred to as God. Right? And we only use the word God because that's what people know. That's what people understand. Right? That's what people know and understand. These ships have been coming here since the beginning of time. Since the dinosaurs, these ships have been coming here. Right? They've been riding over the earth, watching over the earth, visiting the earth. They've never stopped coming into the earth. It's the same people, the same omni race of people, same elite force of people, the same people that created the solar system, the planets, because I said everything was engineered. But a lot of you Negroes, y'all on board into the spookism thing of the Big Bang Theory, and you went into worship, because spookism and not knowing the truth breeds worship. You only worship things, like I said, that you don't know, things that you believe. So when you talk about Allah, Jesus, even if you try to give it a different spin, you're still under the spiritual worship of these ideas and these customs. You're still under the fear of the unknown. So therefore, you reject the unknown. You don't look to connect to the unknown to gain more intelligence of the unknown. You look to reject it. And that's what our people are doing today. That's what our people are doing today. When we come and we start talking about aliens, and we start talking about these almond beings and this new intelligence that's being sent through the atmosphere to an elect or a chosen group of people, as it's spoken of in the book of Revelation, a lot of our people reject it, and they want to go back into Islam. They want to stay in Christianity. They want to stay in the Israelite teaching, saying the same old things over and over again, because they are God-fearing people. They fear anything that's outside these structured forms of religion, as they've been taught to. They only want to know this God or this so-called supreme being within the confines of these submental ideas that came from mankind, that they adopted from mankind. They adopted a spiritualistic fear of these God beings. I'm going to say it again. They've adopted a spiritualistic fear of these God beings. That's why they in the church. They crying. They praying. They worrying about when stuff gonna happen. Oh Lord, please help me. They begging. God-fearing people. You understand? Yet they doing all the submental things while they here on earth. Because these are people who are disconnected from those omni-intelligent beings, those God beings. They are disconnected. Because if you were truly connected, there would be no fear. If you were truly connected to these omni beings or these God beings or these supreme beings or this supreme being, there would be no fear. There would be no worry. There would be no worship, right? Or no fear of the warship to come. It's really the warship that they fear. The presence of death looming over the planet. The presence of death looming over the planet. That's what they fear. And it is looming. And it's coming.
Still republic of intellect, rising out the black race to the white race, out the black race to the white race. It's the republic of intellect, black race to the white race. If it's hell, and then it's hell us. They tried everything just to spell us. Fed us religion, gave us fake gods. Through all of that, we beat the odds. Now we coming together under one flag. Colors red, gold, and blue. Superman, Superwoman, that's me and you. The infinite capabilities that we can do.